Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hi, everyone. My name is Carissa Seedor, and I am the producer in the Buhl Planetarium at Carnegie Science Center. And I am back here today with you for another bite-sized Buhl. Today, we are going to be taking a look at some of the amazing things we can see in our sky tonight. There's lots of things going on in the sky right now, and there are lots of things that you're going to be able to see with very little effort. They're going to be super easy for you to spot. So let's start taking a look at what's going on up there. So we're going to be looking at tonight's sky just after sunset, once it gets nice and dark around 9:15. And we've got a couple planets that we can see in our evening sky right now. So you're going to want to look south. You can see the southern sky. If you know where the sun has set, the sun sets in the west, right? So once you have found the setting sun, just look a little bit to the left, and that is facing south. And facing south, we have two planets that you're going to be able to see. So where exactly are they? We're taking a look right here at our southern sky, and you'll see two bright objects. It's a little tricky on a computer screen, not a perfect simulation here, but when you see them in the night sky, they're going to be a lot brighter than the other stars around them. And one of them is going to be extra bright. The one on the left is, in fact, the planet Jupiter, and the one on the right is the planet Saturn. So Jupiter and Saturn are going to look like they're kind of next to each other in our skies. Now, the amazing thing about the night sky is that you can explore it. You don't even need an expensive telescope to look around. You can just use a set of binoculars if you have them, and you'll be able to see some pretty cool things. Now, my favorite my favorite binoculars object that we can look at is actually the planet Jupiter. So what might you see if you look at Jupiter through binoculars? Let's take a look. We're going to zoom in over here to the planet Jupiter, which in the night sky is going to look like a really bright star. But as we get closer, we start to see some more things here. So we can see the planet Jupiter, see its colorful stripes there. Those might not come through binoculars quite as well, but you'll be able to see the round disk of the planet for sure. And if you have a telescope, you might see Jupiter's colorful stripes, those clouds of different colors. But you'll also be able to see 4 dots lined up around the side. Actually, tonight you might only see 3 because one of them is in Jupiter's shadow. These are Jupiter's 4 largest moons. These are the Galilean moons. Named after Galileo Galilei, the guy who first saw them. He was the first person to look at them through a telescope. And these are Jupiter's 4 largest moons. And they're very easy to spot through binoculars. And it's really fun to take a look at these from night to night. Even over the course of just a couple hours, you'll actually see them. You can actually watch these moons orbit around Jupiter. So this is actually a way that sailors used to tell time, and is by watching and tracking the motion of the Galilean moons. Io specifically, let's see those one more time here. Io specifically moves really quickly because it's the closest of these 4 moons. So we can track the motion of these moons and actually track time, which is pretty cool. And it was the discovery of these moons that actually helped humanity understand that actually the universe does not revolve around us. These moons go around Jupiter, and the planets go around the sun. So not everything orbits around the Earth, which is what we used to think. So we got a pretty good view of Jupiter in the nighttime sky. It is awesome to see Jupiter, even without binoculars, even just looking with the unaided eye. It's very dazzling. And I think here in Pittsburgh, at least, even though it's kind of dreary right now, we're going to have some nice weather this weekend, so definitely go look for it when you get a chance. So we are going to take a look next at another planet. So we're going to zoom back out here. The cool thing about Jupiter's moons is you might even be able to see them with with a strong camera zoom, depending on how strong your camera zoom is, you might even be able to see Jupiter's moons that way. So we're going to take a look at Saturn next. Saturn is a little bit to the right of Jupiter, a little bit further over, but we can see now Saturn is a lot further away. So this one's going to be a little trickier with binoculars, but you might still be able to see some pretty cool things. Now we're going to take a super enhanced view here. As we view Saturn, of course, Saturn is famous for its beautiful rings. Now, you may not be able to see Saturn's rings with just binoculars. It depends on how strong your binoculars are, because Saturn is much further away than Jupiter. But you might be able to see Saturn's largest moon, which is Titan. And you can see Titan floating along the side there. Now, with a telescope, you'll be able to see quite a few more moons as well. But Titan is going to be the brightest of them. Titan is Saturn's largest moon. And Titan is famous for its atmosphere. Titan has a very extensive atmosphere as well. It even has lakes and rivers on its surface, but they're not lakes of water. They're actually lakes of methane. So Titan is a very, very interesting moon, a very cold moon, but it has a beautiful kind of orange atmosphere to it. So we can see the beautiful planet Saturn, its ring system there, and of course, its largest moon, Titan, and a few others as well. Saturn has at least 82 known moons right now. Most of them are really small though, so you probably won't see them with binoculars. But we can zoom back out. And we can take a look one more time here, because we are looking south right now, and we're actually going to look over towards the southeast where things are rising, because we've got one more player in the night sky tonight. As time will go forward here. There it is. We can see our moon in the skies right now. Now our moon is in a waning gibbous phase. So that means it was full very recently, but it is now getting less full each night. But the moon is one of the best things that you can look at through a telescope. So let's see what we can see if we look at the moon. We get a closer look at our moon here. Oh, I went in too close. Let's back out a little bit. The moon is a lot closer than Jupiter and Saturn, so we don't have to get as close of a look at it. But you'll be able to see the edge here of our moon. That's line between night and day. And I'm not sure if you can tell on your screen, but we can see a little bit of a dark part here as well. So even though the moon goes through phases, when we see it as like a crescent phase or even as a gibbous phase, that doesn't mean it's changing shape. It's still the nice big round spherical moon that we know and love, but only part of it is illuminated facing us. So we can see the whole surface of the moon, but it's dark, right? So it's not as easy to see when it's not illuminated by the sun. But this is one of the best times to look at the moon through binoculars, because we can see, as we look at the moon, when it's in phase like this, if you look along the terminator, that line between night and day, you'll get some really cool definition of the craters on the moon. It is covered in craters. And we don't usually get to see them as well when the moon is full, because they are getting both direct sunlight, so we don't really get any shadows. But we get really dramatic shadows when the moon is in phase like this. So the best time to look at the moon is not actually when it's full, it's actually when it's in phase. So definitely take a look at the moon as well. I will say the moon is pretty bright, so you want to make sure your eyes are ready for that. It's not quite as, it's not dangerous to look at the moon through binoculars, but you just want to be careful a little bit as you start to look through. But we are going to zoom back out here and take one last look at our sky. So again, we've got those two planets in our evening sky. We've got Jupiter and Saturn visible, and of course the moon. So take a look outside tonight. In the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to see these objects as well. The moon is going to move from night to night, but it's always fun to track the moon too and watch the moon with your binoculars and see how it changes. See how the illuminated part changes and different craters you might see and different mountains you might see on the moon. But it's always fun to take a look for these things yourself. So go outside the next couple nights, take a look, and come back and let us know what you were able to see. But for now, that brings us to the end of our bite-sized Buhl. So thank you all so much for joining us, and have a great sky watching.